That's so brilliant! This video is sponsored by Photrus. Now, the cool thing is really, there is no other place in the world where there are so many compositions, side by side, compact together. Yeah, it's a wonderland for compositions if you want. I do quite easy today to find woodland compositions, but that was not always like that. Oh no! Oh man, I think I failed hundreds of times with woodland photography. I always started and stopped, and I never succeeded. I always thought, it's just the woodland in my area, which would be boring or so. But that's wrong. Woodland is never boring. Just my photos were boring. But as soon as I changed some small things, woodland photography got really, really easy to me. So I would say, let's go out, let me show you how I find a woodland composition. My friends, a very good morning. Now I'm to my local woodland today and I've picked out a piece of woodland where I've never found a composition before, and that's because I never really looked for one, to be honest. The woodland, it didn't look all too promising to me, I have to say, and I thought it's maybe a good idea to pick out especially this woodland for this video, because I guess some of you will also do hard to find compositions in woodland. I'm just trying to bring myself also in this situation of doing really hard with finding a composition. I would say, let's see if we can find anything. Now the first tip I want to give to you, or the first issue I want to talk about is, I often hear photographers saying, Christian, I would like to do woodland photography, but whenever I'm thinking about that, I don't do it because I fear to fail. I fear not to find a composition, to go home with empty hands. And the thing is, I have to say, woodland photography is not difficult actually, but it's a little bit more, it takes a little bit longer to get in compared to vistas or waterfalls, for instance. I think it's a good idea to have no expectations. Don't make any stress to yourself or so. It's better just to go out for a walk. The worst thing you can really have is that you just had a nice walk in the early morning or something like that, and the only way to fail actually is to stay at home. So it's a good idea not to think about the outcome, not to think about the photos. Don't have any expectations. It's better really just to enjoy. Such a nice place here. And the first thing is what I do is, when it comes down to looking for a composition, is I look which things look interesting to me. Not in point of view of photography, it's more what do I love actually, what is really something that is interesting me, not as a photographer but as a human. And there could be any interesting lines and shapes, there could be any interesting leaves, any contrasts, any saturation in the landscape or so. And when I came down here, I was a little bit more down there, I came up here, and when I walked this trail here, I spotted this tree here over there, and it's really looking interesting to me, because it's a little bit different from the shape. It has a kind of a ball foliage or something like that, and that's interesting me. I love it. But the question is it also possible to take a photograph with it? And that's the next step I'm trying to achieve. Can I photograph it? And the first thing I do is I try to look if it's possible to photograph it from that perspective where I saw it first, because that's exactly that shape and that story I saw first. That's not always possible. When we look back there, we have green in front of green. That doesn't really work, I guess. So the next step I will do is I walk a little bit around this subject, and I look if it's possible to find a composition with it. And an important thing is, when you are not sure about the composition, when you think you found maybe something that could roughly work, what I do is I take the shot, because it's always good to have a starter composition, to get a little bit in, a little bit as a kind of warm-up or something like that. It's also you lose this kind of stress, the expectations go down because you have taken already one shot. So it's always good. So I found something here. I will go and set them and I will explain the composition. Oh man, yeah, I really found the composition, and as you already mentioned before, I tried to find a starter composition because I wasn't 100% sure about it, but it's really good to start with a starter composition, obviously, because I really got it to work. So what I did is, well, what I did is actually, I came up from there. I tried different perspectives. I walked around the tree and I stopped here. The sun will go up a little bit more behind the tree, and this gives us this nice shadow here in the foreground. This anchors the image a little bit because everything is dark in the front. I also like this hill here at the left hand side. I also spotted this hill. The thing is, I got attracted by the tree, but what I did is I tried to find out other elements that are interacting with the tree, because the tree is not alone here. There's so many other things here. I found this root here. I found this tree trunk here. I found this broken tree here in the distance, which looks really nice, I have to say. I also thought about taking this one a little bit more prominent in the frame. It wasn't really possible. I also didn't really tell that story which I saw when I came up, and that's also a really important point. Think about which story do you want to tell. And I want to tell the story of this tree here growing a little bit lean to the left, and here in this nice landscape here. And now what I did is I tried to reduce my composition to the tree itself, to that little mini hill here at the left hand side, and I tried to hide this broken tree in the distance. Usually it would be good to go a little bit higher in woodland so that you get rid of sky or something like that, but here I even went more down, because I'm not sure if you can see that, we see lots of tree here, and when we go lower and lower, we can hide it a little bit better behind the foliage. One important thing is I put a circular polarizer on, and not only, it's a technical thing, but not only, it's also all about the composition, because when you look at the tree, there's a lot of glare on, so there's no polarizer on this camera on here right now. You can see there's a lot of glare on, and when we reduce the glare completely, we don't have any plasticity anymore to the foliage, and then we don't have enough definition for the tree, and it looks flat. The image doesn't really work. But with the right polarization level, we get a nice glare at the right hand side of the log, and also this nice plasticity on the foliage. And I would say, let's make the click. Oh man, such a wonderful morning. It's amazing. And another thing I found out when it comes down to finding woodland compositions is don't walk around all too much. So what I found before is, I found this tree here, and I found the composition with it. And before I was, I think, maybe 7 or 8 meters in that direction with my camera position, and now I went over here because I found one more composition. So what I did is I just look around because I love this place. And whenever you love anything in woodland photography, not only in woodland photography, in general, in photography, not only landscape photography, in general, when you love anything, you will find possibilities for compositions. Because when we look around, I think woodland is that place where are the most compositions compact together. They're everywhere compositions. I just can't see them because I don't love the things all too much. So I just see the things I love, if that makes sense. And what I did is I looked a little bit what the light did, and I saw the tree back there. I saw it already before. I spotted it already when I came up here. I spotted a lot of things, but that was something I I got attracted by because I saw what the light was doing. And when we look here, you can see we have a little game between light and shadow. We have this amazing plasticity on this foliage up there. We have a light in the foreground, we have shadows below the tree. And it's really the plasticity what attracts me, and that is what I try to photograph. So it's all about finding out what I love, and I think the why is more important than the how. When I know about the why I want to photograph it, I know how to photograph it because it's so simple. I just have to put my camera here actually. It sounds crazy, really, but it really works like that. Try it out, my friends, really. Don't trust me, just try it out. I knew what I love. I love the game between shadow and light. I love the plasticity, and I looked for this nice leaves on the ground here just to anchor the image a little bit, and that's the composition. I just tried to bring the lines a little bit into an order, and it reflects quite well how I feel right now, because that's what I love. That's the integrity of the artist, and I would say, let's make the click. Oh man, this place is really amazing. I don't really know why I've never found the composition, why I've never looked for one actually. That's so stupid actually. Now, before I was a little bit more in that direction. I think I'm 30 meters from my other camera position. I'm here now in my setup with my camera here. And what I found is it's not a typical woodland composition, and that's the next tip, by the way. Don't only look for the classic shots. Just really look for what you love. What do you like here? And when I came along here, I saw this amazing view into this amazing woodland there. It's not a typical woodland composition, it's more a Vista woodland combination or something like that, if that makes sense. So we have this tree here at the left hand side, we have these little bushes here in the foreground, we have these rocks here in the distance, and also the trees up there, a little bit of mist up there, and yeah, I really like it, I have to say. And I took the shot already, I will show it to you right now. As the light got already a little bit too harsh, I decided to stop taking photos, but I did one thing. I worked at another composition which looked really promising to me. And that's the next tip, by the way. It doesn't matter if you got a shot in the end. It doesn't matter if the light was good. Use the time out there for location scouting. Find potential compositions and go back as soon as the conditions are right there for. And the right light, by the way, helps also massively to find compositions. Ideal are atmospheric conditions here, you know, like fog or atmospheric softness or subtle snowfall in winter. What that does is it makes the atmosphere visible. So all the busy lines, shapes and patterns in the distance get softened. The compositions get more simple by that, and you get also mood into your photos. And that will not only lead to stronger images, it will also help you to find compositions easier. Fog is the easiest way to shoot woodland, by the way, and if you shouldn't know how to get fog guaranteed, watch this video here next. My friends, I hope you liked this video. If yes, share it with your friends, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.